Hi everyone, Kelly Wenzel here from Cincinnati, Ohio. I am super excited to be sharing with you our Bayou short ribs recipe tonight. And we're really looking forward to this one. This is actually a new recipe for my family and me, but I'm gonna go ahead and get you started. So you'll notice I've used a bowl that I've put my bag in. I do actually have a second bag labeled already with the name of the recipe, the date that I'm making it, and that it's a slow cooker recipe. Now, the reason I like to do that is because sometimes with the ribs, anything that has meat in or a bone in it, sometimes I like to double bag that so that I don't ever have to worry about maybe the bone poking through the bag and having leakage from the liquids that are in the bag from the recipe. So that's the reason I double bag my meals. So just so you know, little side tip. So we're gonna start with, we're gonna be starting with low sodium chicken broth. And we're gonna be putting 1.5 cups of low sodium chicken broth in our bag. Now I'm doing this a little, if you're reading it directly from the recipe, I'm doing this a little out of order, and there's a reason for that. This way we can have all of the seasonings and the sauces all blend together very nicely, and then we can add the meat in. So the next product I'm gonna be using is our seasoned pepper, and we're gonna need 2 teaspoons of this. And this is a very rich, it's got a lot of flavor to it. So I can just imagine that this is gonna be a really great flavorful dish, as they all are, but super excited about this one. And did you know that our seasoned pepper has no sodium in it? So this is a great one if you have someone who is looking to be sodium free on a product. Our next seasoning that we're going to use in this recipe is going to be our onion. We're going to need 1 tablespoon. And if you remember, our cap is 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to fill this halfway full. And I like a little extra onion, so I don't mind if I've gone a little over on that. I'm going to go ahead and put this into the broth. Okay. So now you can see that I just have a nice blend of all those seasonings in the broth. And then I'm also going to be adding in my Bayou Bourbon a while. So the sauce that we're using for this slow cooker recipe is our Bayou Bourbon glaze. And we're going to be using 8 tablespoons or 1/2 cup. I'm going to get that blended in there as well. Now, one of the things that is really great with this recipe is this recipe is going to call for an extra 4 tablespoons of the Bayou Bourbon. And there's the reason we're looking for that extra 4 tablespoons is because we're going to actually be using that to make like a gravy pretty much for it when it's done with the slow cooking. So, all right, so we have our sauce, our sauces together. Now we're just going to add our ribs. And you can use 3 pounds of bone-in beef short ribs, which would be about 2 to 3 inches thick, or which is also known as an English cut. Or you can do 2 pounds of boneless country-style beef ribs. All right, and boy, this meat looks delicious. So I'm just going to be adding this in. And the reason for putting the seasonings in first and the Bayou Bourbon glaze in first is because then you've got all that mixed together, and it's not just getting stuck on one piece of the meat that you had, you know. Sometimes when you put the seasoning in on top of the meat, it just gets only in one spot of the meat. So, all right, so I'm gonna actually just kind of massage that a little bit, make sure that the meat is all getting soaked by the juice. And then on top of this is all going to be super simple, all in one bag, okay? And in addition to this, we are going to be putting in 1 cup of chopped carrots. We like it easy here, right? We want it all to be in one bag and go right into our slow cooker. And then 1 cup of chopped celery. Now, this is going to be a great recipe. You're going to use this in the slow cooker about 6 to 7 hours. One of the things that you're going to love to pair this up with would be maybe either cauliflower, riced cauliflower, like mashed potatoes, or mashed cauliflower, I should say, or even just mashed potatoes, and then this can go right on top of your dish. You'll notice I'm squeezing as much air out of the bag as I can, but I also want to make sure I hear it click, because now what I'm going to do is over top of the bag, I'm just going to kind of make sure all of this mixes in. Make sure the veggies get kind of in there. All right. I'm going to open the bag just a little bit more, just to get a little bit more of the air out that I didn't get out originally. Making sure that I don't get the juice out. Make sure you got that sealing sound. And then I'm just going to add it to my second bag. Now, in addition to this, like I mentioned, we are going to have 4 extra tablespoons of Bayou Bourbon Glaze in a separate quart-size bag or a snack-size bag. We're doing this because this can be mixed in with some cornstarch and water. Actually, what I would do is not even use water. I would just use some of the actual marinade or the broth that will be in the slow cooker. Mix that in with some cornstarch and then also a little of the 4 tablespoons of Bayou Bourbon, and you'll get a nice gravy. If you prefer not to do that, obviously you don't have to, but that is one way to make your gravy and top your mashed potatoes, your short ribs, and then have some gravy on top. So I hope that you'll enjoy this recipe. I'm just going to go ahead and pour this straight into here. And then I'm going to also place this in the bag with the main dish. And a very wise woman, Debbie Kimball, said that she will actually cut the corner of this and let it drizzle out so that you don't end up with it all from the top, stuck in the bag. So I thought that was a very good decision on your part, Debbie. So thanks for that tip. You are a very wise woman. So I hope that you'll enjoy your Bayou short ribs and have fun with it. Thanks, everyone. Bye.